Are you struggling to win ranked games, or you just can't seem to win any fights in ranked? If so, then you come to the right video. I'm one of the top ranked players this season, and today I'm going to be covering 10 different ways to instantly get better at ranked in Fortnite. This video is going to cover everything from fighting techniques and even show you how to rotate properly in an endgame. And the best part is, they're all insanely easy to master. And after you've learned all the tips in this video, you're never going to find yourself losing a ranked game again. So if you guys do enjoy, make sure to like and subscribe, go check out my other socials, use code Farley, but now onto the video. So first things first, if you want to instantly become a better fighter in ranked, you need to learn how to fight against super aggressive players. So let's use this fight right here for an example. As you can see, there's an opponent dropping onto my wall while I'm in a bunch of boxes. He realizes it's not worth it from that angle, so he's going to come up to my roof and he's going to start applying pressure. When this player starts applying pressure, I don't have a lot of space to work with. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to edit out to my right away from the player, and I'm going to create 2 extra boxes of space to play from. But when I do this, the player grabs the floor on my roof, and that means he's only a few swings away from getting the floor and then editing in. So I'm going to sprint back into my old space, reset the wall, and then I realize the player's above me on my old builds. That means I can hit a quick double edit on the player, popping him in the back and then cracking him. And when I crack him, he falls into my box. And his only option now is to sprint back up where he came from. And when I realize the player only has one option of going up, I'm going to make a peanut butter peak and then place a cone. What this does is it puts the player in timeout. He's now stuck in a corner. This allows me to jump, give myself a right hand peek, the player's still in timeout, and I'm able to pump him and then pick up a free elim. And after I pick up that elim, I make sure to block off my back, play it safe, and then hit a scanner just in case there are any third parties nearby. So make sure when you're fighting in ranked, you look for things like this so that you can catch your opponents off guard, pick up free kills. Moving on now, let's talk about one of the best ways to end fights fast, and that is by having good awareness. Having good awareness is, in my opinion, the best way to piece control your opponents every single time to pick up free kills. So in this fight right here, as you can see, I'm boxed up, popping a big pot, and my opponent is below me, creating space. And when I drop down on the low ground, my opponent hits a scanner, so I do the same so he doesn't have an advantage. This allows me to see the other player popping his meds, so I start to spray him, and I was able to crack him. When the player boxes up, I'm going to push up to him, and I'm going to fake pickaxe swing to bait him to edit, but instead the player places a ramp in between me and him, and he tries to run away. But from this position where I'm standing right now, I noticed through the wall, there is no wall in between both of these boxes. So as I break this wall in front of me, I'm obviously going to take it and then edit, but then I'm not going to break the ramp, I'm going to hold out a wall instead. This is going to place a wall in between me and the player, grabbing control of the box in front of me. And when the player realizes I've gotten the wall in between me and him, it's too late. I'm able to edit on him, place a cone in his box, pumping him, and then I'm just able to spray him and pick up a free kill. And after I pick up that kill, I make sure to create a little bit of extra space, just in case I were to get third partied. So make sure when you're fighting in ranked, you have good awareness and you look for things like this so that you can catch your opponents off guard, piece them up, and then get free kills. Moving on now, I want to talk about one of the best ways to not only win ranked games this season, but also just win more fights in general, and that is by playing for a win condition. A win condition is basically playing for an objective or something in the game that gives you an advantage over the rest of the lobby, making winning games almost guaranteed. As you can see right here, I'm driving in a car straight towards Demon's Domain to play for the medallion and the mythic AR. Because I know if I can kill this player and get the medallion and the AR, I will basically guarantee the win. And when I see this player running in the open with the medallion, I'm going to start to spray him, I'm going to get his attention, and I'm going to get him weak. But when I see this player box up, I'm instantly going to push over and I'm going to start applying pressure. This is going to force him to stop popping his meds, so I keep the health advantage. But I also notice this player only makes 1 box of space, and that means he's going to need to get out of this box and create space. And most players have the habit of trying to back up and create space. So I'm going to pre-piece that side of the box where I think the player is going to go. And when he runs into that area, I was able to then full box him, drop down in on him, and I was able to pump him in the face and then pick up a quick kill. After picking up this kill now, I have the medallion and the AR. And if we look at the timeline from the point that I got this kill right here to the rest of the game, you'll notice that I got an insane amount of kills after I picked up this mythic AR, and I was able to win the game in the end. So make sure you're playing for win conditions just like this so that you can come out on top in fights, but also win more ranked games consistently. Now every ranked game you play is going to be different, but the majority of the time you die in ranked is because you're taking dumb 50-50s that you don't need to. Now there's a lot of different ways to avoid 50-50s in general, but one of the best ways you can consistently avoid 50-50s is by learning how to change angles properly. So in this fight right here, I'm on low ground and my opponent is above me applying pressure. Now eventually this player is going to drop onto my wall, so I'm going to create some more space and I'm going to play patient. Now eventually this player is going to chase me down and he's going to push up towards my wall. And this player has a right hand peek right now. I don't want to give him that, so I'm going to put a wall in between me and him. I then realize I should make an edit here because he's just holding his pump at me. I realize I need to change angles. So I'm going to edit out right and then I'm going to push up while holding out a cone. Since I held out this cone, as you can see, it blocks the player from going up and now he's forced to edit back down. But when this player flips this ramp, he blocks off my angle. but he can also shoot the wall and steal it. So I can't stay on this wall anymore, so I need to change angles again. And I know I built that wall earlier in metal, so I'm going to move back over to that metal, switching directions really quickly, and I'm able to catch this player off guard, get one pump off, and now this player's super weak, so all I have to do is spray a few builds, and I'm able to bleed through and then pick up a quick elim. So make sure when you're fighting in ranked, you learn to change angles like this so that you can catch your opponent off guard, so that you can pick up free kills just like this. Moving on, now we're going to talk about the second part of this video and the part of the game that most players struggle with, and that is endgame. Now, if you do want to win ranked games consistently, you have to understand how to rotate properly. If you can make perfect rotates every single time for every single zone, you're never going to find yourself losing a match again. So an example of how to have good positioning would be right here. As you can see, I'm boxed up in the center of zone, and I'm waiting for the next zone to close. Now, when we look at the map right now, when it's about to close, you're going to notice that the zone is going to pull all the way up here to this corner of the map. So from the position I'm in right now, the zone is going to close all the way up over here towards this little hill. So if I want to win the game, I need to take this hill and get the best positioning out of anyone. So as soon as the zone closes, I'm not going to waste a second, and I'm instantly going to pop my bird, and I'm going to rotate to the front of zone. And as soon as I get into this position, I'm going to swap to my hard mats and build up so that I can control this area. And after I get in this position, to secure the win, I need to grief the rest of the lobby. What I mean by that is every single time a player is rotating in, I spray them and pressure them in any way possible. What this is going to do is it's obviously going to drain the health of my opponents, but it's also going to burn their mats, and it's going to put them in worse positions. You'll notice that after I'm done spraying everybody, look, this guy's at the back of zone, he's stuck. He obviously has to pop his meds, but I burnt all of his mats and his meds. Now these two people over here, I started to spray them. Now they're forced to fight. What this does now is while all these other people are doing the hard stuff and fighting, I'm in the best position all the way up here, just spraying and griefing them, not having to do any work. And from this point now, all I have to do is basically force all of these other people to fight. And after the zone closes again, it's going to pull down the hill. So I'm just going to rotate down the hill, keep high ground. After I get in this position though, I realized that someone could burn on me. So I'm just going to build up an extra few layers just in case someone were to do this. Doing this allowed me to see the players from a better position. I was able to spray one of them, pick up a kill, spray the other one, pick up a free kill, and then finally I just had to spray the last player and I was able to pick up a free win. So make sure when you want to win ranked games consistently, you look for the best positioning early, you rotate early, get in that position, and then you grief the rest of the lobby so that winning the game is 10 times easier. Moving on now, we're going to talk about probably the most important part of this video that's going to help you win ranked games this season, and that is by learning how to have zone priority. Zone priority is basically learning how to choose when you need to fight and when you need to rotate. Now, an example of why you need zone priority would be right here. As you can see, there's a guy above me right here and he's spraying down on me. Now, if we were to look at the map right now, you'll notice that the zone is closing, but this player doesn't have the zone priority that I do because I rotated in early and got in a good position. But this player is stuck at the back of zone and he's still pressuring me even though zone is right on his back. And this means as soon as the zone touches him, he's going to panic. You're going to notice he realizes too late and now he's going to start running down. That means that when zone gets on his back, he's going to panic because when zone gets on your back, you don't have time to think. You just have to run in, and this player makes that mistake. And as you can see, since he does this, he makes a mistake by shooting himself in the air with the gloves, and this means I can spray him and crack him. And at this point, it's just simple pressuring, and I'm able to spray him and then kill him. But this player only died because he didn't have good zone priority. So make sure you're not making the same mistake this player made. Now that we know what bad zone priority looks like, now let me show you an example of having good zone priority. So an example of zone priority would be right here. As you can see, I just got out of a car and I'm going to start to spray the player in front of me. Now right now, if we look at the map, as you can see, the zone is closing and it's pulling all the way over here. If I stay and fight these players, I'll get stuck in zone and I'll die. When you're in a position like this, you need to understand that fighting isn't worth it anymore. And when I realize this fight isn't worth it, I need to have zone priority, and I instantly get in my car and I drive away and I rotate into zone early. What this means now is that if we look at the map, as you can see, the 3 other people I was fighting, they're all still stuck in zone. What this is going to do now is it's going to allow me to hold these players in the back of zone and spray them. And since I had zone priority and got in this position early, the other 2 people that were stuck at the back of zone are now forced to rotate in late. So all I have to do from this point is hold this player in zone and it's going to give me a free kill. So make sure when you're playing ranked, you have zone priority so you don't get stuck in the back of zone and die like these players. Moving on now, we're going to be talking about one of the most important endgame tips I can give you in this video. That is not only going to help you with your rotations so they're more consistent, but it's also going to allow you to pick up free kills in the endgame. And that is by learning about scouting. As you can see right here, I'm boxed up on the edge of zone and there's a bunch of other people around me. Now all I'm going to do from this point is I'm going to obviously create space in metal, but then I'm going to make sure I scout through my cone and I scan my surroundings and I look at all the other people around me. Now when you're scanning through your cone, you usually want to look into the back of zone because that's usually where the free kills are. So as I scan through my cone, I look in the back of zone, I see this other player sitting at the back of zone, he hasn't rotated yet. And since I see this, I'm able to make a little edit on the player, I'm able to spray him while he's rotating in, and I'm able to head dink him, picking up a free kill. And since I was scanning through my cone and I picked up this kill, I didn't have to worry about third parties because I have all my old space to play from. That's going to wrap up this video. If you guys did enjoy, make sure to like and subscribe. I'll be live later today. And if you want to see it instantly become better at Fortnite, go check this video out. But with that, I'm out. Peace.